Teens over in the Rio Grande Valley, they are now charged with murder. This is for killing a man that they say police wouldn't do anything about, despite already having warrants for his arrest. Are they cold-blooded killers, or were their actions justified in defense of their little sister?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ty here with another episode of Contentious Conversations. Let's dive in. Today we've got a story about some teens who got together and they they murdered their stepfather in Texas. And let's dive in and find out why.
Martin making the case with teens over in the Rio Grande Valley. They are now charged with murder. This is for killing a man that they say police wouldn't do anything about, despite already having warrants for his arrest. Are they cold-blooded killers, or were their actions justified in defense of their little sister? Jonathan Martin making the case with attorney Charles Adams.
Capital murder because Quintanilla was kidnapped, right, when he was taken in the back of the F-150 and dropped off somewhere else.
The story of two teen brothers in South Texas arrested for beating their stepfather to death for allegedly sexually abusing their half-sister has a lot of people talking. They were apparently so enraged at their stepfather, Gabriel Quintanilla, they, along with their friend, confronted him at a home, beat him before attacking him 2 more times at another location, reportedly with brass knuckles, then dumping his body in a field where he was found dead. Clearly a crime, but was it justified?
And as in, if you are the defense attorney in this situation, what you're arguing is that there are these mitigating circumstances, the rape of their very young, small child, little sister, by their evil stepfather.
Quintanilla did have a warrant out for continual sexual of another child. I asked it.
Okay, this is where this one can get tough.
I have to add.
Yeah, this is where this one could get tough. I'm not gonna let them jump in first. Wow, that's tough. That's tough. The reason that this is tough is because of the mitigating circumstances of this case, right? It's one of those things that, like, when you think about the people in our society that are to be protected at all costs, right? People who can't take care of themselves, right? So we're talking about children, the elderly, and people who are disabled, right? Like, those are people in our classes in our society that we protect extremely tough, right? Like, we show an extreme prejudice when it comes to people who mess with children, the elderly, and the disabled, right? So it's hard, right? It's hard to kind of go through some of these cases when you see that the situation is something that's kind of like that. Let me hear what these guys have to say, and then I'll chime in.
Ask, how do you have a warrant like that, can't execute it, but these kids can find him? It ain't like these kids didn't go to the authorities because they said the authorities wasn't doing nothing about this man. And now y'all charging them with capital murder for not doing your job. This one rubbed me the wrong way a little bit.
I asked attorney Charles Adams if that history could help a defense.
Well, that certainly is.
Okay, before they go into the defense, based on what he just said, right? The problem with vigilante justice is if you get the wrong person, right? Obviously, right, your main priority is making sure that those sexual assaults never occur again, right? Whatever self-defense mechanism you got to take, whatever, like, That I feel 100% okay with. But the extrajudicial killing is where it gets tough, because even though what you're doing it for is, it's like a holy cause in my personal opinion, like, but the law doesn't work in their favor, right? Because the law is there for a reason, right? And even though the police take so long, right? It feels like they take so long to get any justice, any answer. The actions that you've taken could have, what if you killed the guy and he might have committed those other crimes, but he didn't commit this one, right? Like, it's one of those things, and they probably know, like, that he did it 100%. Like, they're not gonna just, I don't know. It's just one of those cases. It's just tough, because the motives of it, if what they're alleging that the guy did, the motives, like, you can't question. It's hard to question, like, was it morally right? Like, yo, that was, how do you tell somebody not to avenge or, like, try to protect their little sister? Like, anybody would look at you like you're freaking insane. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's going to be hard for you to tell the jury, hey, man, convict these kids for if they can prove that, ooh, that jury going to get hell in a handbasket if they try to, like, throw the book at these kids or something like that. So this is one of those cases, like I said, it's so tough. It's so tough because it's like a vigilante killing, right? To protect somebody who's innocent, like an innocent person, an innocent child in our society, right? So, like, you've got to wonder because I'm not a lawyer. You got to wonder.
It bolsters the perception that he was rightfully accused, right? Because it was a different victim. So now you have two young children claiming that they were sexually assaulted by this man, right? And if these two brothers and the friend were aware, I think it provides a rationale, a justification that a lot of people can understand.
But the teens are facing serious charges.
Which is what I just said, is like, yo, they're going to understand. Like, people are going to be like, okay, well, that guy was, like, there's just certain people in our society that we will protect. And if you victimize anything that is done to you, everybody's gonna be like, all right, it's cool. They're just gonna be like, all right, whatever.
Murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. While some might understand their motivation, others argue killing someone in a situation like this is never okay. But what might a jury say? Charles says, while a long shot, a jury nullification argument might be the best option for a defense.
Where you as a lawyer look at the jury and say, hey, we understand that this meets the elements, but we're asking you to find them not guilty anyway, because I don't think there's anyone in America that can't sympathize with two brothers acting the way they did in response to someone who violently.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If they told me we ride together.
Okay, so after reading up on it, essentially what had happened was they found out about this after the young one said something, and then they went over to the RV and beat his ass. And then they left. Then they came back, and then they beat his ass some more. Then they loaded him up, took his stuff, dropped him off in a field, and left him there for dead. So, knowing all of these factors, what do you think?
I'm not going to say anything insightful.
It doesn't have to be.
I have nothing insightful to say. At their age, like, even at my age.
Yep.
But at their age, with everything that I was facing back then, the shit that was going on and stuff like that.
Ooh. I can't imagine if somebody did something like that to my sister. I don't know. You gonna find me under the prison. I don't know what I would do. Like, it's one of those things, and, like, put in that situation that they were in, I don't know what I'd do. Like, I don't know if I could honestly say I would do something different, right? Like, that's going to be a lot of people's reaction. But then there's going to be the other side that says, hey, no matter what, you've got to let the law do the law's work, right? Because now, yes, you think you got the right guy, but what if you got the wrong guy and the actual person is actually still out there, right? That's literally the only other argument that you can make to be like, well, you guys should have waited for some sort of authority or law enforcement to, you know. But yeah, this is nuts. This is nuts. I think these guys just kind of talk about it some more. I'm not gonna watch all of their commentary on it because I think it's gonna be similar to what I'm gonna say, which is, I mean, it's a tragic situation, and it's understandable that those young men felt they needed to do what they had to do to protect their sister. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, or I'm just saying in that situation with the circumstances they were facing, somebody who had sexually assaulted their sister. I mean, it's a hard it's a hard case to try. It's a hard case to try. And I feel horrible for the young lady in the situation, those young men to have to be put in that situation, and that they had, that this kind of person had to be in their life, to force them to have to do something like this. This is gonna be a tough one. All right, it's gonna be tough. So once again, I appreciate you guys watching the show. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I mean, I know there are people aren't gonna agree with my take. People aren't gonna agree with my analysis. That's okay. Like I said, these are contentious conversations. They're not supposed to be easy conversations, right? If there were easy conversations, the name of the show would be Easy Conversations. It wouldn't be Contentious Conversations. All right. So once again, I thank you guys for watching. I appreciate whatever input you bring to the table. Just please make sure it's constructive and it moves the conversation along. It's your boy Ty with Contentious Conversations. And I'm out.